start by turning on that little arrow, then I do Shift A, add image, and then reference, and then I add my reference images. I got a picture of the side view and the bottom view of the shoe. This is just me adding a cube and then scaling it along the Z-axis and the X-axis. This is just me checking that my reference is placed perfectly. Now we can see how it looks. And make sure that I do select box so that I can select the vertex there and then the vertex behind that vertex, if that makes sense. And I'm adding loop cuts. The loop cuts are so I can shape the cube to be the shape of the flip-flop. Then we're going to scale along the y-axis to get that shape perfectly. Then I'm going to do box select and move to fit the shape of the flip-flop. Again, we're just using box select and moving the vertices along the shape of the shoe according to our reference. Add another loop cut. Scale along the y-axis, move. Okay, then I take the tip of the flip-flop and I rotate the bottom just because realistically, the top of, or the tip of a shoe is not going to be flat. That's not realistic. It's always a little higher up. So just do what I'm doing. Y'all see what I'm doing. Just do that. We're adding a loop cut in the middle and then we're going to scale it just a little bit so it's not like a perfectly flat rectangle because that's just not realistic. Then we're scaling it along the Z-axis so it can be a little flatter. Then we're going to add a subdivision surface modifier. This is just so we can further get that more realistic shape of the shoe and make it look less boxy. Then we're adding loop cuts and moving the loop cuts upwards to make the edges sharper. Now this plane that we're adding, this is for the straps. So we're doing the straps now. Tab into edit mode. This is a reference that I have. I'm going to link the website or the application to put your references in my bio. So tab into edit mode, then we're going to take the vertices and then just E to extrude and then we're rotating. Just again to get that shape of the strap. But remember, this is only the front view, so we're going to add another view, which is the top view, so we can see how it looks from the top instead of just seeing how it looks from the side. Now we're just adjusting it to fit the reference that I have, just like a regular flip-flop strap. It might be a little confusing at this point, but literally just do what I'm doing. We're rotating it along the X-axis. Then E to extrude. Rotate along the X-axis. We're just trying to get it to look how it looks in the reference image, you guys. This part might be a little confusing, but honestly, just follow along. Slow the video down if it's confusing. Just moving it upwards a little bit. Again, just trying to get it to fit the reference images. That's all we're doing is moving the vertices to fit the reference image. We're going to add a mirror modifier so we can get the other side of the strap. So add mirror and then select the shoe, then the y-axis, and then, yeah. Then once we apply that, we go into edit mode, select that other strap, and then we do P selection. That just separates it. So we have a left strap and a right strap, two separate objects. So right now we're editing the right strap. Again, just moving it about to fit the reference image. If it's too fast, just slow the video down. I'm just trying to get that front bit to be perfect. So we're just adjusting, scaling, selecting vertices, moving, rotating. This is all just to fit the reference image. At some point, we're going to join the two straps back together, but right now it's just going to be two separate straps. So we go to the front view so we can see how it looks. Remember, look at the shoe from all angles so you can make sure it doesn't look crazy because it's three-dimensional. Please, guys, any questions you might have, just leave it in the comment. I will literally reply to every single comment. So we're selecting both the straps and we're joining them back together. Select and then F to add a face. Then we're scaling and then we're going to add a loop cut down the middle like that. E to extrude. Back to the front view to make sure it doesn't look crazy or not realistic. We're adding a curve just so it looks a little realistic because it's not going to be perfectly straight. Okay, so this is how it's looking. It's looking good, I'm saying. Adding a solidify just because what we had was a plane and we needed to be three-dimensional like this. The order of your modifiers makes a huge difference. So we just reordered the modifier so it would look right. Then I'm turning off the modifier just so I can get that 2D view. I don't know if this makes sense, but I hope this makes sense. We pretty much just got that curve, the shape. This is so we can do the spikes to be perfectly along the strap. Make sure you apply your subdivision modifier to the curve and then convert it to a curve. Then we're going to add a cone. I like to turn the vertices down low just so we don't have too many polygons. Okay, we're just scaling it so it looks a bit more like the reference. We're renaming the curve so we know what it is. We're going to do origin to geometry. Literally just press what I'm pressing, guys. You need Blender 5.0 to do an array like this. Because in other blenders, if you do array modifier, it's not going to be as simple as this. So I just prefer Blender 5.0. The same thing we did from the strap, we're going to do again. So select a loop, Shift D to duplicate, and then P selection to separate. So now we have the curve. We're just going to rename it to curve 2. Then the cone, the spikes, we're going to duplicate the spikes. Once we duplicate the spikes, This is just me making sure that I have the right spike selected. Make sure you convert that curve for the bottom to a curve, if that makes sense. And we're just gonna rotate it in edit mode to make sure it's in the right direction. For some of them, they're not gonna be perfectly in the right direction. So to fix that, we're just gonna apply the array modifier and then adjust each individual cone that isn't perfectly placed. That's what I'm doing here, applying the array modifier and then hitting L and rotating it so it's perfectly placed. And there you have it. Pretty simple.